So testing, I love this function. I've been mucking around with it a bit myself. So this is basically a way for you to understand, good one for you, Kimberly, how your content works without having to pay. So what you can do here is you can literally start to add a couple of different variances. And then what Facebook does is it will run them for 10 minutes, half an hour, 24 hours, and then it will only show the winner at the end. So it's a bit like A/B testing, if you know anything about that in terms of your email newsletters, where you might use a capital word or you might use all capitals or a different subject line or something like that. It's a very similar thing. And you can do that here as well. So you don't have to pay for it. That's one really lovely thing. And it's a great way to kind of get a bit of a learning understanding of your audience, what they're responding to. So as you can see here, the test details are more for you. So you can actually understand, what that test was when you're reflecting back in your analytics. You can choose a key metric. So the key metric can be link clicks, it can be engagements, it can be comments, it can be shares. I would encourage you just to get in there and have a bit of a fiddle around it and see what you want from it. So if you were going to use insightful language like tag a mate that you want to go to the Cape with, then you would see, the result or the best reaction would be the one that gets the most comments. And that is the one that Facebook will seek to then put for the rest of time. It will get rid of the other one. So you can have your test duration as quick as 10 minutes. Now, depending on your audience, honestly, 10 minutes probably isn't quite long enough. I just mucked around with this today to sort of see, what the outcome would be. But as I said to you, if you've got something that you're promoting upcoming, you might want to have two different test features. So one thing I would say as well is maybe when you're doing your test, don't make too much stuff different. So, you might put a different image behind it. You might put a different heading on it just to see what people are resonating with. And that's the whole point, right? What language works, what imagery works. But if we change everything, we can't really nail down what the difference was to understand why it worked. So just go slow with it. But I think it's a great function for us as marketers to really start to understand what is going on with our target market without actually having to pay, which is incredible because you have to pay for everything on Facebook, as you know. So then once that happens, you will get, as you see here, the top performing post will be determined 10 minutes after the test has started. It'll be distributed to future audiences and can be found in your content library. The other one will be gone. So publicly, you'll see it, but publicly they won't. So I think that's a very clever and important feature that you can sort of work through and sort of utilize. Kimberly, I'd be interested to see how you go with that one, sweet, if you come up with a few things. And certainly when you're doing things in Canva, like for me this morning when I put that together, I just changed the background image. So it was a very easy process in terms of actually creating the post because all I did was copy the tiles and change the background image. So this is the first one I did, and then I copied it. Okay, so that's my first two. And then the second one, I'm going to use a different color, see if that replies, and different faces, and see which one actually resonates. So the big thing for me was I put a bloke on the first tile of one of them, and I put a lady on the first tile of the other. That was kind of my benchmark, that I wanted to see which worked for me. So I guess it just depends on, it depends on, my biggest thing is don't change too much stuff or we can't really identify what's working to then use it down the track.